Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Terry from terryscraftroom.com. Today we're going to use the Happy Hedgehogs bundle, and we're going to make this adorable card. And here's the inside. Let's get started. It's actually pretty easy, easier than it looks. We're going to make our own background, so we have to start with our sun, and we're going to use Daffodil Delight for our sun. And what we need to do is I've taken a 3/4 inch circle punch, no, a 1 1/4 inch circle punch, and you can use a circle die, whatever one you'd like, and I've just punched a circle out of a scrap piece of paper. Then I'm going to take, this is repositionable snail, and I'm going to take this and position it in the upper corner of my card. So this piece of cardstock is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and if you miss any of the measurements, as always, I'll have a direct link down in the description box below to my blog post, and it will have all the measurements and all the supplies that I've used in this video. So you can go straight over there and figure it out. So, as always, when you're using one of our blends brushes, start off your page, whoops, and then go onto it. Start off and you need to do that every single time. You start off the page and then you blend onto your project. And that will give you a much smoother finish. And there's our sun right there. So now I'm going to take the circle, the actual circle that I punched out, and I'm going to put some of the repositionable tape on it, and I'm going to cover the sun. Okay, now we're going to make our sky and our ground. So what we need is a post-it note. Actually, you need 2 post-it notes, depending on how big your post-it notes are. They need to cover the width of your project. So I'm just gonna do that, but I don't want this to be a straight line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this back up. I'm going to take my scissors, and on the side that's sticky, so this side is the sticky side of my post-it, I'm going to just cut a little bit of a wavy line. And there you can see, let's put this, there you can see my wavy line. And really this is all I cut off. And I'm going to put this about 1/3 of the way up. Here you can see the bottom of my, so you can see through these post-its, so you can see how far up I did that. Okay, I need another blending brush, and you can save this for another project. Okay, so we're going to make the sky, and I'm going to use 2 different colors. For my sky, I'm going to use Balmy Blue and just a little bit of Pacific Point. So I'm just going to turn this sideways so that it's easier for me to blend. So once again, I'm going to pick up my color on my ink pad, start off the page, and then start blending onto my sky. Now this still looks pretty white, but let me tell you, when you pull it up, you can definitely see that there's color there. But in order to make it even more color differentiation, I'm going to take my Pacific Point, and when you're using two of similar colors, always use the lighter color first, and that way you can come in with the darker color on the same blending brush. And there we go, there we have our sky. Just like that. And if we take that off, there's our sun. Okay, so now let's do the ground. And for the ground, I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz and Old Olive. Let's get a third brush here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, so this is my wavy side, I'm going to take it and put it upside down and kind of try and match up the waves going the other way. So again, we're going to use the lighter color first, so the Pear Pizzazz first. Then we're going to get a nice background color on this. And then I'm going to take the Old Olive, and I'm actually going to start off my project, and then I'm going to make some contours and some different colorations here, darker and lighter, so that we have that. And then when we take this off, we have that. So now we've got a little bit of white showing here. So now I'm going to take my blender brush and just kind of blend it in a little bit. And then there we have our different, our sky and our ground. Now the ground, I'm going to use again the Pear Pizzazz and the Old Olive, and I'm going to start stamping some grass on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp 1, 2, 3, so I get three different colors. And then I'm going to also stamp the Pear Pizzazz on here. Okay, so just you stamp it all over. And there's our background, pretty much. Now, we have some items to make for our, we want to make some 3 little mushrooms and a butterfly. And let's get a piece of scrap paper here. We need to make our hedgehogs, so I have a couple pieces of scrap crumb cake. I have a piece of scrap soft suede that I have already run through the Tasteful Textiles embossing folder. And we're going to use that. And where did my little piece of scrap piece of white, basic white paper? Okay, so we are going to stamp 3 mushrooms. 1, 2, 3. And a butterfly. Okay. So let's let those dry for a second and we'll make our hedgehogs. We have 2 hedgehogs, so I want to, let's see, how do I want this? I want to have one go that way and one go that way out of my piece of scrap. So now we're going to take the pieces of crumb cake and we're going to just punch out our hedgehog. Oh, this one will fit too. Okay. Okay. And we're going to make these go opposite directions. So when we put these on, they're going to go like this. So let's get some adhesive. So there we go. There's our little hedgehogs. And I'm going to take a black pen and actually, so on our hedgehog punch there are these 2 little punch outs right here. I punched a bunch of them out for my classes, but we're going to use those as a nose and an eye. And I'm going to grab my take your pick tool and pick one up and put it down as a nose and put it down as an eye. I'm going to do the same thing for the other hedgehog. A nose and an eye. Let's get that nose a little bit closer to the tip of the nose there. There we go. Then I'm going to take a black pen and make a mouth. And on one of them, I'm going to give eyelashes, so one of them is a female. So there's my 2 hedgehogs. Okay, now I need to color my mushrooms and my butterfly. The butterfly I'm going to color with Daffodil Delight. And then I'm going to color the outer part with the dark Daffodil Delight. Okay. And then its body I'm going to color with the light basic black. And then I want to make it shiny, so we'll give it a little bit of Wink of Stella. Okay, and then my mushrooms, I'm going to use the dark cherry cobbler and I'll be back. I'm going to color these in and I'll be back in a little bit as soon as I color these in. And the last thing I'm going to do, I could have colored around all these little dots on the mushrooms, but I didn't want to. So I'm just going to take a white gel pen and make the dots white again. And there we go. So we just need to let the gel pen dry, and then we're going to cut those out. Meanwhile, we can place our sentiment, which says finding a friend is the best discovery of all, and I'm just going to put that up here in the sky. Okay, and while we're letting these guys dry, let's grab our inside piece, and I've got another piece of crumb cake, which is 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm gonna take one of our hedgehogs and stamp that on the inside in soft suede. Right there. Okay. So let's cut our butterfly out. I'm not a huge fan of fussy cutting, but this is a pretty easy fussy cut, so. And there we have our mushrooms cut out. Okay, so now we can start putting everything together. So we need a card base that's 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. We need a Pizzazz mat that is 4 by 5 1/4, and then we need some dimensionals for the back of our big piece, our card front, I should say. Now I put usually more dimensionals rather than less. If I'm going to send this through the mail, I don't like it coming off, I don't like it flattening out, so I make sure that I have the entire thing covered. Okay, so then I just kind of put things where I want them. I'm going to pop the 2 hedgehogs, are going to be dimensional, and one of the mushrooms is going to be dimensioned. So I'm just laying the hedgehogs on here so I make sure I get the mushrooms where I want them. There we go. There we go. Now if you want to, oops, let's put the butterfly on. Now also, if you want to, you can give the hedgehogs rosy cheeks. Get a little bit of blushing bride. And one of these blender pens. And there we go. And then let's put the inside of our card on. And then if you wanted to, you could stamp this same hedgehog on your envelope to make everything match. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a single card and project. And we'll see you next time. Bye!